Welcome back to Go Ham. Today we have a very special guest. We are sitting with Bob Phillips, who is the owner of Independent Beauty Solutions. He's been in the salon industry for over 25 years, and he's been a huge contributor to Privé's success.
Well,
Absolutely. Give it up for Bob.
Bobby, Bobby boy.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you here today.
This is a bucket lister for me. This is awesome.
Oh my God.
So,
A lot of talk about this. It's finally happening.
little go ham. I love
Go
it.
ham. All right, let's get into it, Bob. So tell us a brief description of your journey in the industry, how you got here, where you're at today, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, so my grandfather started Bucks County Beauty Supply in the 70s. So you could say this business is in my DNA. And so I started with that company, and my uncle had taken over that business. And when my grandfather had it, he was an innovator. And as time went on, my uncle took over that business, and it morphed it into more of a high-end boutique brand concept, and worked beautifully. And our claim to fame back then, we acquired the Pureology brand, which was still independently owned back then. And that put us on the map. And that was a great opportunity, and a line that we did very well with. And that was kind of our big splash. And I worked for that company for 7 years. And then I transitioned. I joined the Raylon Corporation, and that was a wonderful company, family-owned business, and I learned a tremendous amount there. It was a great experience. And then there was another 7, I believe. 7 seems to be like the magic number. Wonderful journey. I met wonderful people. I had the advantage of still selling L'Oreal brands, so the Redken, L'Oreal, Pureology, acquired Matrix. So had a really, a beautiful brand portfolio, and again, learned a lot and met wonderful people, and which leads us to this moment in time, and in the creation of Independent Beauty Solutions. And I just an amazing opportunity. I feel like there's I love this business, and I see some gaps. I see some opportunities to really support independent salon companies. And, that's where we're at. I mean, Independent Beauty Solutions we're going to have clean, sustainable products. We're going to have business support, and we're going to have the best technical support that, we can offer salon companies. So it's a really, I'm excited for the journey. So this is going to be the best chapter yet. So
Cool. Love
This is awesome.
But
Yeah.
you're being a little modest here. Forgot about a few things that I think the audience would appreciate knowing. So Bob was Salon Centric's #1 sales rep for 5 years.
5 years running.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a really big deal. I mean,
Yeah,
we
that
were
was
so
awesome.
proud about that.
And he warranted that title. I mean, Bob, as many people that we have dealt with over the years, that we've never seen anything like Bob.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a unicorn in that industry.
I think it's not only were you extremely knowledgeable about all of the brands, but you also had such a personal touch with our company, and I assume most companies that you worked with, which is essentially what drove us to have this, deep-rooted relationship that we now have.
You want to work hard for people with like-minded people, and it's been a really amazing relationship. So I'm one I truly cherish.
Yeah, you're definitely relatable on so many levels. Even like personal lives, I feel like there's a lot of relatability. Like you're like a brother to us.
Yep.
I feel the same way. Well, the thing I love about
We're
this
like
business,
the nagging, annoying sisters that you have to deal with.
Nah, not at all. Not
They're
at all.
moody.
Bob, tell us this. For any salon owners out there, what are the things that you think are really important to have when it comes to a brand partnership?
I think any good business partnership is going to start with trust. And, I felt like, we certainly have that. And the thing I like about the beauty industry specifically is that you're kind of guilty till proven innocent. It's like you got to earn it. You got to earn the trust. And and I think there's finding that out and finding in a brand partner somebody that you, like you said, the relatability, the authenticity, the trust. And knowing that they're listening to your needs. That's an old adage. One of my early mentors is that you'll always make more money with your ears than you ever will your mouth. And I think having a brand alliance and a partnership where there's listening, there's engagement, and that they're able to deliver. That they're helping you plan for profit. They're giving you, education opportunities that are truly suitable to the needs of your team, and that they can deliver on superior service. They're the things certainly I think every salon company should be looking for in a brand partner.
Well, you just said it, and trust is definitely something that is so important when you're dealing with somebody that, especially in sales, like, because we have so many, not us in particular, but there could be so many distributors out there that are just trying to make a sale, and they come to you and they come off salesy, and they come off like they don't care. They just, at the end of the day, it's the dollar amount, where we never got that feel from you. It's always been about privé, and you would never sell us something that you knew wasn't going to benefit our salon.
I think salon owners might be curious as to like what that exactly looks like. And I think a great example is like with our meetings, we would speak to you about some of the pain points that we had, what the goals that we had, and like within 2 weeks you would come to us and be like, you guys mentioned this, and here's 3 different ways that I can support you. Let me know what you think. So just for anybody who's curious on what that might look like. The salon industry, I feel like, is on like a crazy ride right now.
It is. It's like a crazy roller coaster, for sure.
What have you seen? What shifts have you seen with salon owners and salons and how they operate right now?
Yeah. So, I mean, coming out of COVID, you had the advent of salon suites and the independent stylist. In many parts of the country, you have independence, you have chair rental, which we don't, have in our part of the world. But, statistic wise, it's 65% of hairdressers are working independently.
Really?
Wow,
Nationwide.
that's a huge percentage. I didn't know that.
So, and I mean, the 35% is probably in the Northeast. I mean, because it's just, we're configured differently. You're seeing those who, have entered the suites and they're thriving. They love it. There's others I see going back into commission salons. So it's, to your point, like it is kind of, it's all over the place. And I think the consumer buying behavior is starting to shift. And I was reading a Wall Street Journal article that was talking about just in terms of, as it pertains to retail, that the luxury consumer, they'll invest in services, but they don't want to invest in accessories. So like when you think of like a Fendi bag, like to buy a knockoff Fendi that's not off the table now.
Right.
And so it's been a very interesting, retail has essentially died in independent salons. I mean, it's been a struggle. And that has also, losing that revenue stream has forced salon owners to really get creative in how, as it pertains to compensation or, support staff. And, so there's a lot of shifts. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on.
Like when you're talking about this, I'm like, God, I know this feeling. Like retail has definitely been a major change for us in the past few years. And I won't say that we're failing, like we're definitely not. We've shifted our approach with it heavily to be more about experience versus anything else. Like, don't sell a client something if they don't need it, like ever. That's just not something that we're doing, but we're educating, tell me your struggles and I'm going to provide the solutions, whether that be you have frizzy hair, you need a keratin treatment, or this is a great product that could help you with that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of how we've shifted as owners. And I would say that has served us well. It's not perfect. I think that our team hasn't fully embraced the concept yet, and they're still trying to get acclimated with that approach. But I will say that, it's a necessary move. Like things have definitely changed.
I think you're always going to win with leading with authenticity, leading with consultation, right? So, I mean, whether the client chooses to give you that sale or not, just that you're being the beauty consultant, because at the end of the day, like everything that's talked about behind that chair, right? It's like that. Yes, you have this very intimate, unique relationship with your client, but if you're not the professional that they're coming to for all their beauty needs, I think you're susceptible.
Well, but and like another thing that I want to touch on too is you guys were talking about like the shifts and like how we made our shift, but I also feel like the beauty industry has made a huge shift in the past however many years with putting it in like Sephora's and Ulta's and the retail like that was never accessible like that before. And I know a lot of these big beauty industry influencers and stuff will go on and say like, no, you need to still be selling it to your people in your chair and you need to give them all these reasons why they should be buying from you. But at the end of the day, it's about convenience. And if I don't have a hair appointment for 6 weeks, but I ran out of shampoo and I'm at Ulta down the street, I'm grabbing it at Ulta. Like, and that's just the nature of the game, and it sucks, but ultimately it's these big companies that took the retail from the independent salons because they gave access to everybody now. And like we were just talking about
not only that, but then they're discounting it. Like,
oh yeah, they're discounting it, and like so you have so many competitors now, and it's almost like you bought into these brands with the word that this is a luxury brand that's only in hair salons, and then 2 years later you find out no, you can buy it in CVS if you wanted to, or Amazon, or and I know the whole like, oh, it's not the same, but people they don't care.
Now, us as commission salon owners know the importance of retail.
We do.
For our company. Like, we know what it's providing, what it goes toward. I mean, if you need a full breakdown of what our retail goes toward, which we recently shared with our team, what this does pay for within
and the
this
impact
business,
it does on the salon when you're not selling it.
for the companies who are struggling, that aren't able to meet those benchmarks that were once, provided, what are other ways that they can save or make money so that everything makes sense?
My partner in manufacturing is All Nutrient, and it was a 2-year search of trying to find a company that was truly committed to the pros. And in my search, so All Nutrient's been in business since 1984, and so in that time frame, it's been complete commitment to the professional market. We're not sold in Sephora. We're not sold in big box retailers, Ulta, so on and so forth. The competition when you're actually competing against your manufacturer and distributor partners, it makes it that much more difficult. I mean, since COVID, I mean, you're looking at upwards of 30 to 40% operational increase in cost. I mean, it's not just product, it's insurances, it's rent. So, I was very strategic in finding a partner that was actually going to help salons decrease, the professional spend.
Like, I feel like not only did us as salon owners get hit with the 30% increase post-COVID on pretty much everything that we purchase, but then we now have this decline in retail sales, which is really taken away from, the bottom line when it comes down to it. It's difficult to own and operate a business right now.
And the fact that manufacturers are still increasing their prices, like they haven't showed any signs of slowing down either.
Well, what you're seeing, I mean, there's a lot of tariff talk. I would highly suggest that salon owners take a look at where their product actually is manufactured. There's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of branding. Companies, it's like, oh, we're based out of Australia. Well, but the product is manufactured in Italy, right? And that could be very meaningful to what that increase could look like. But the other part, and the unfortunate part, just like we saw coming out of COVID, manufacturers looking at, it's like, oh yeah, the cost of oil and like all these reasons that you're seeing these increases in pricing. But it's like, is that real? Like, some of it's real, but and then going back to my point in all of this is that some companies are just going to use, whether their pricing has gone up or not, they're going to use the alibi of the tariff to increase their price.
It's the same thing they did with COVID.
Well, they're even like enticing you to buy now before the prices do go up, which I feel like is
now there's
fear mongering.
Literally, I can think of right off the bat 2 things that we've been dealing with in the past 2 weeks. One was the extension company that reached out about
Stocking up.
Yep, stocking up now because of what's to come with the tariffs.
And then the furniture store.
And then Raymore and Flanagan. As soon as
Yeah.
you go on there, big banner up top. Get in now, because they can't say what the price is going to be in the future, which that got me. I literally bought a lot of new furniture.
Added to cart.
I was calling her. She's in the middle of building her house. I'm like, listen, you better stock up, get a warehouse or something.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit tight.
So, Bob, your brand, All Nutrient, is manufactured in the United States.
The only thing that we outsource is our hairspray and our lightener.
I love it.
And we've had one price increase since COVID, since 2020.
Oh, wow.
And you know, we take a lot of pride in being American made, and we also take a lot of pride in being the true partner for independent salons. If there's an increase, it's because it's out of necessity. It's not out of just
What's going
price
on.
gouging.
Well, it definitely
or,
means a
you know.
lot knowing that it's from the U.S. because for our industry, dealing with the tariff situation that we could be facing right now, like that's scary. But just for us, like how many salon owners out there had reached out to distributors right after COVID, like where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? And how many of you were told, oh, it's sitting on a ship out in the ocean. It's shipped, but it can't get into the U.S.
Yep.
I mean, that was like a common response for us. And it was like, what do you tell people? Yeah, we ordered everything, but it's sitting out in the ocean. So that is really awesome having everything right in the U.S. So we don't have to worry about that.
You mentioned manufacturing. Is there any shifts that are happening right now with manufacturing that could help us prepare for something that's coming? Or
I mean, and there again, out of just being very aware of not any sort of fear mongering talk. Anyone that is going to claim to know exactly what's happening moving forward, I think it changes every day.
Yeah.
So I feel really good about our position because of our ability. It's the accessibility to our product, and that we control everything from start to finish. I mean, I think that's a very, compelling argument. To Monica's point, when I think about like even my own consumption, I'm very strategic. I'm very thoughtful of where I'm putting my money and who I'm supporting. And I would encourage every salon owner to be very mindful of who they're investing in, because it's important. We're going to see it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
I feel like right now it's kind of a balancing act between I want a phenomenal product, but I also want support. And that's a lot of support. Like, I'm not talking about I want you to answer the phone when I call, but I want education. I want you to be able to provide my team with education. I want education and support as the owner. In addition, I want a really great product that's going to perform well and all of the things behind it. I feel like the expectations are really high right now.
Bob, talk to us about some of the trends that you're seeing in the industry as far as pricing and what impacts you're seeing for salon owners long term.
Yeah, so from a state of the industry, I was reading that color is up 7% year over year, which I think is really encouraging. I think it's important to know that it's not all doom and gloom. I think there's a lot of things that are trending in a really good direction. Color is one of them.
You mean color services?
Color
Yeah,
services,
okay.
yes.
Yep.
Extensions are certainly a really great revenue stream. So yeah, we're seeing, there's growth in those areas. I think really what it comes down to is just, it's consultation, it's customized services. The manufacturing of color, I think, is those days that the consumer doesn't want that. They want a look, they want a dimension, they want something that's really catered to their needs. And the cookie cutter is not that market is really dying off.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some great tailwinds, but like I said, there's other aspects of the business that are down, and I think we have to be really creative of how we're going to capitalize moving forward.
Bob, how do you see the industry in regards to events? And I ask that question because the past several years, I would actually say post-COVID, prior to COVID, we like thrived in events settings. Like we were so looking forward to whatever it was, you know, whether we were going to a small event locally or if we were going out to Vegas for the Redken Exchange. The events were so well done and, you know, super exciting. And we found passion and connection and all of that stuff. And after COVID, it's been really difficult to find events that are really lively and bring an energy that, you know, we once felt. So how do you see that going in the future?
Yeah, so it is a core value of Independent Beauty Solutions. You can't strike out. That's the key, right? It's like if you have I don't think it's a lack of willingness to get people together or people not willing to want to get together with other industry professionals. It's just delivering on the right, on what they want.
Do you want to know what I want?
What do you want?
Well, I'll tell you. I've now identified where I thrive, and it is in smaller settings with like-minded individuals. Smaller meaning like somewhere between 50 to 100 people, and not 2,000 people in an arena. Like, I don't want that anymore. I want 50 to 100 people, which we just went to an event in Vegas, not industry related, but there were 100 people?
100 people.
And it was amazing. Like there was so much connection there and so much, we just learned so much just from having conversations. It didn't feel too intimate in the way that it was so small that it was almost uncomfortable, but it was the perfect
everybody
amount.
was like-minded. We all were there, like our visions all kind of aligned. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I never thought of that before. Like, cause I like any kind of event, especially if I'm traveling for it. But that event that we were at in Tennessee, and this wasn't even with your company now, it was a different company. It was a huge event. There was thousands of people there. And now that you're mentioning that, like, I felt like an outsider. Like we're all in the same industry, but like, I couldn't relate to anybody there, even just like dress. Like I dressed completely different than 90% of the people there, and it just was like so unrelatable.
Did anyone see the reel going around on Instagram of this girl who's like, I don't know what she's doing, but she's like cutting hair but like dancing at the same time?
Stop, no.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh my god.
Is
I
it
wanted to
good?
send it to you because that's what I felt like.
That on the stage.
Well, this is what like
it was like I felt like I was at the goddamn circus.
Yeah,
Like,
but this
it wasn't
is
like about
the
hair. It was
reality of
about
hair
the
shows
performance
these
around
days
the hair.
Is
But,
the
like,
reality of it.
They
is
could have
like,
done the worst haircut in the world, but they performed for you.
There's a performance factor that's
Yeah.
involved in like these hair shows now, and it's
And
like
I get
really
it, like they're
making us
trying to
look
hype
bad.
it up and everything, but like at that point, like they were wasting my time. I looked at her and I'm like, "You want to go shopping?"
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
like,
tell you
"Let's
what,
leave."
Two things. One is that our success in our companies, I would say, is not based off of the education and inspiration that was provided by the industry. We've always outsourced that. We've always gone bigger. We've gone to events that are, oh my God. I mean, literally, I've been like in mastermind circles with like surgeons, and I'm like, I don't belong here. But literally, we've just always thought so much bigger of the company. The vision was always large, and it was bigger than
Yeah.
what I think the industry could provide. I'm not saying that you can't find connection and inspiration by industry events, but I think sometimes there's an attraction to people that are like, oh, let's go party. And listen, I was there once, but I think it's more like we want to go put on a show. We want to bring everybody out and make sure they have fun. Well, I'm here to have fun, but I'm also here to learn. And I think that's where some of the issues come into play. The other portion of this that I want to mention is we recently sent people to an academy in New York City, and they came back, and I was really excited. I was like, how was it? And one of the girls' reaction was like, I don't know. Like, it was just like weird. And I'm like, what do you mean weird? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to dance every time that we start our day. And I don't want to be like up, doing this stuff. Like, it's just not my personality. And it almost felt uncomfortable for me to be in that setting. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And I also know the opposite, like why they do that and how they do that. But I just feel like there's definitely room for improvement when it comes to events in our industry right now.
Going back to our core values, integrity, transparency, and community. Well, the community piece is going to be exactly that, where we're actually giving usable education, not where, and hey, showmanship and production, it's all very important, but the meat has to be there. Everyone values their time so much different, I feel like, now coming out of the pandemic. And so, you have to deliver.
Could you talk to us about other important skills that might anybody who's interested in becoming a rep, like maybe they could have success?
It's funny. I'll tell a story. So my wife is my business partner. My wife has a hairdressing background. She always worked in departmentalized salons as a colorist. It's funny because we went out on the road together one day, and get done the day, we pull in the driveway, and I was like, "So what'd you think?" She's like, "We're never doing this again, right?" I said, "No, we're not." And Lauren can bring a lot of value, but it's when you're out in the field, it's just a different deal.
Yeah.
And I think the number one thing, like, you have to have some really thick skin. You have to have some really, really thick skin. And
Can you say that from experience?
oh, no, because hey, you're guilty till proven innocent in this business.
You said that, and that like landed with me because I'm like instant. Like the second I feel like I'm being marketed or sold something, I'm instantly like, tell me all the bad, because I'm gonna tell you the bad, right? Like I've done that for years with you. Like I'll use Olaplex as the example. It was like, why don't you like Olaplex? And I'm like, because it sucks. like Bob, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it, because it sucks. Like, and I felt like that was a big marketing tactic on the internet for years. It was like, okay, let's pay the right people to say that this product's great, and we're going to sell millions of them, which happens every day. But I think essentially, like, I want good product, and I want it to have great ingredients. I want it to smell good. I want all of the things rolled into one. And if it doesn't do that, I'm going to be very honest about it. And that's, I guess, tough to deal with as a sales representative.
It surely is. But conversely, when you were talking about your hair color, that got me very excited, because I'm like, that's the first positive thing that Mon has ever
She
said
can't
to
come
me.
at me with anything negative.
I know. I was authentic, though. I was like in a state of shock when I looked in the mirror that day. I was like, oh my God, like this is actually beautiful. Holy shit, I love my hair. And that was like a good feeling, because I haven't felt that in a really long time. And
Me neither.
About anything, really.
But yeah, so having some thick skin, I think, is definitely at the top of the list. I think you got to really love what you're doing, and I think for me, it's always come back to, I love the people. Like, hairdressers are my people. And when you're having a shitty day and you're getting your ass kicked and you're hearing no, 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 or this problem or this objection, I think you really you got to love the people. And that's what's really kept me in it.
I have a question for you. Let's get back to like products. We've noticed over the years certain products that were like changing the ingredients and the just the products in general. Did you notice that a lot with the industries? Like the quality of products going down? And why do you think that's happening?
And
Yeah.
pricing going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not using the product, right? I'm relying on, I'm using shampoos, I'm using styling products, but I'm not the one using
Right.
hair color, right? So I'm completely reliant on your feedback as the professional as to, hey, like, I noticed a change. Why is my toner not holding? Why is it fading? Why does my hair feel like shit all of a sudden? It didn't feel this way before. The quality seems to have gone down. So, I mean, that has been a universal gripe,
And do you think that's since COVID, or was this like before COVID starting?
I mean, it's something that I can't really I wish I could give you a more
Right.
intelligent answer. It's just that, but there again, like, the proof is in the results. Our mantra at All Nutrient is that marketing doesn't make better products. Manufacturing does. And so, with that, we speak to the truth.
Yeah.
We had that run of 7RB. We had 2 runs of a color that went out a few weeks ago, right? And we knew that it was a level darker than it should have been. We contact every salon and let them know that happened. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, that is just not a practice of our business. So that sort of transparency, it's just not there.
I mean, it's never happened in the 10 years we've
No,
been in business.
it hasn't.
So, no one's going to shout from the rooftops, hey, we're using cheaper ingredients.
Right.
Or we're diminishing our dye load or, what have you. I mean, that's just not a practice that's going to happen. But clearly there's a lot of shifting. There seems, just based on the feedback that we've gotten from the professionals.
Well, even on social media now, like I see videos all the time about independent stylists asking like what other stylists are using because they're having such problems with some of the brands that they're currently using. So I feel like it's not just owners. I feel like it's a lot of the independent stylists as well now too. Like it's a known
Absolutely.
thing.
It kind of relates to what we're talking about right now with the quality of ingredients and marketing and stuff. I remember one time when I had my dog, she was a puppy, and I took her to the vet, and I asked the vet, like, what's the best brand of food I should be giving my dog? And she mentioned some, and I'm like, I never heard of that. I'm like, well, what about this one? I'm like, it's all over. It's all I see, commercials. And she turned around to me and she was like, a lot of times when companies are marketing and spending a lot of money on their marketing and getting these big people to like support their brand, a lot of the time that takes most of their budget. So they don't have the money to put the good ingredients into their products. She was like, so not it just because it's so in your face doesn't mean it's necessarily good. That
Yeah,
I
it
think
makes a
about
lot
that all
of
the time
sense.
when I
It
see
does.
like these certain like, little movie stars and singers now that are promoting a certain brand, and I'm like, oh, did their quality of product go down because now you're paying her millions to do a 7-second commercial for you?
Yeah,
Right.
it's almost
I
red
think that
flaggy
all the
at this
time.
point.
Yeah.
Going back to this type of business relationship. So like what you are starting to see for distribution, like you're starting to see a lot more direct to manufacturer because
What does that mean, direct to manufacturer?
where there is no distributor in play, essentially, where the manufacturer is functioning as the producer and the distributor. And again, I mean, because the margins are so tight. But it also, what I feel really excited about is our ability to be nimble. It's like there's no layers of, I can go right to the source. We could sit down and do an education plan and have it ironed out in 3 hours and it's done. Not where it's like, you bring the whole team
Yeah.
in and
We'll
then
get
it's
back
like,
to you in a month and
right,
let you know.
or if you're lucky, right? So
Yeah.
it's like we are quick and nimble in ways that I don't think it's unmatched.
How many salons do you think are using it now? And have you seen a huge increase
I have.
recently
So
since like tariffs and stuff?
we've opened 72 salons
Wow.
In how long?
since August 1st.
Wow.
So we're less than a year.
Well, this has been super insightful, and
Yeah.
I'm sure our audience is gaining from it. I know it's been a hot topic in the industry, and I think you answered a lot of questions and
Yeah,
provided clarity.
I see a lot online. People just panicking over the tariffs, like the whole, like we were saying, being scared into buying and stuff. Like this might spark somebody to look into an all nutrient line that's straight out of the USA.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you for joining us today. I hope that you found tremendous value with Bob Phillips here today. And if you're looking for more information or want to look into what he has to offer, you can find him at Independent Beauty Solutions on Instagram.
On Instagram, yes.
Well, good luck in all these future endeavors. And we're actually really excited to be on this journey with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.